so glad you could join me today. I'm Dusty, and this is Dusty's Castle. Today, I want to share a story with you called Stop, Drop, and Roll. Jessica was a worrier. She worried morning, noon, and night. She worried about her spelling homework and learning new steps in ballet class and remembering to fill her dog's water dish and waking up in time for school. But one Monday morning in October, Jessica's teacher gave her something new to worry about. "It's Fire Prevention Week," explained Mr. Martin. "So for the next few days, we're going to talk about fire safety." "Uh-oh," groaned Jessica. "And this Friday," Mr. Martin continued, "we've been asked to share what we've learned with the entire school." "Oh no," moaned Jessica. "Let's begin with smoke alarms," said Mr. Martin. "Your homes should have them on every floor. Automatic fire sprinklers are a good idea too." Smoke alarms, sprinklers, Jessica had never seen either in her house. "Your families should also have escape plans in case of a fire," said Mr. Martin, "and fire drills so everyone knows what to do." Jessica chewed her pencil in half. Escape plans? Now she was really worried. That night, Jessica announced, "There's a big problem in this house. We have no smoke alarms and no sprinkler systems. We don't even have an escape plan. If there was a fire, we'd be in trouble." Her mother puckered her forehead. "I remember buying smoke alarms, but I guess we never got around to installing them." "And we talked about finding someone to put in sprinklers," added Dad, "but we're always too busy to make an appointment." "And what about extra batteries for the alarms?" reminded Laura. "Yeah," said Tom, "we need to keep more batteries around here." Jessica twisted her napkin. She knew the real reason Tom wanted more batteries around. His birthday was in 3 days. He wanted batteries for his presents. But fire safety was more important than birthday toys, wasn't it? "We've got to do something about this now," warned Jessica. "You're right," said Mom. "After dinner, we'll make escape plans and find those smoke alarms. And tomorrow, I'll get extra batteries and make arrangements for a sprinkler system," said Dad. But Jessica still felt too worried to sleep. She tossed and turned all night. The next day, Mr. Martin wrote some fire safety rules on the blackboard. "Never play with lighters or matches. Keep electric heaters at least 3 feet away from things that could burn. Keep extension cords away from doorways and from being pinched by furniture. A professional should check the chimneys and furnaces in your home each year." Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Martin went on and on until Jessica had to cover her ears. She'd never be able to remember so many things. At dinner, Jessica asked, "Have we ever had our chimney checked?" "Well, yes," answered Dad, "when we bought the house. But Mr. Martin said it should be checked every year. In the furnace, too." Dad sighed. "Well, I'll put those on the list of things to do." But that didn't stop Jessica from worrying. She went through the entire house, checking cords and smoke alarm batteries. And she had another sleepless night imagining all the things that could go wrong. On Wednesday, Mr. Martin had even more fire safety rules. Heat makes smoke rise, So if you're in a fire, you must crawl under the smoke where the air is cleaner. And when you reach a door, touch it. If it feels cool, it's safe to open. Jessica tugged at a barrette. Well, what if the door felt warm? What should I do then? If the door is warm, continued Mr. Martin, don't open it. Find a window and call for help. Then wait for a firefighter to come and tell you what to do. And there's one more very important thing you need to know, said Mr. Martin. If your clothes should catch on fire, stop what you're doing, drop to the ground, and roll over and over until you smother the flames. Catch fire? Jessica had never been so worried in all her life. Stop, drop, and roll, repeated Mr. Martin. Let's all say that 3 times. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll, chanted the class. All except Jessica. Her worries had twisted her tongue into a big knot. When Jessica got home, she made her family have a fire drill. Then she rechecked all the electrical cords, tested the batteries in all the smoke alarms, and made double sure that there were no matches lying around. Afterward, Jessica felt a little better, but she still couldn't get Mr. Martin's words from class right. Stop, slop, and troll. No. Mop, pop, and bowl. No. The harder Jessica tried, the worse she did, but she went to sleep feeling a little better. At least she knew what to do if there was a fire during the night. Then on Thursday, disaster struck. Mr. Martin asked Jessica to demonstrate stop, drop, and roll at the assembly the next day. Why me? Thought Jessica. On the bus home, she tried to practice the words stop, flop, and roll. No. Flop, mop, and stroll. No. Stop, pop, and hole. But they just kept coming out wrong. Jessica was so worried about the assembly that she couldn't even enjoy Tom's birthday party. Stop, drop, and moll. Slop, drop, and hole. No. Plop, mop, and stroll, she muttered to herself. Well, because of all her muttering, she didn't even notice when Mom brought in the cake. It had 7 big candles on it. 6 were for Tom's 6th birthday, and 1 was for him to wish on. And just as Tom leaned over to blow him out, Jessica looked up and she saw fire. Stop, drop, and roll, she screamed. Immediately, Tom stopped blowing, dropped to the floor. But before he rolled, Jessica saw that Tom wasn't on fire at all. Jessica's worries had gotten the best of her. She was so embarrassed. False alarm, said Dad. Whew, you gave me quite a scare, said Mom. I'm sorry, said Jessica, but I thought... Well, you thought quickly, interrupted Dad. That's good because it's better to be safe than sorry. Besides, added Laura, you finally said it right. And that was the truth. Jessica had said the words right. And now that she had, she was confident. She'd never forget any of the fire safety rules she learned that week. And you know what? She never did. Stop, drop, and roll. Whew, that was a very interesting story, wasn't it? Did you learn anything from that? You know, I know of some great safety tips for kids, and maybe we should review them. You think so? Like, every home must have working smoke alarms on every level and in or near every bedroom. A grown-up should test all the smoke alarms at least once a month by pushing the test button. And every family should practice a home fire drill at least twice a year. Memorize your address and the emergency phone number of your fire department. You know what that one is, don't you? 911? That's right. Matches, lighters, and cigarettes are dangerous. Don't ever play with them. Kids should only cook under the careful supervision of an adult. Space heaters must have at least 3 feet of clearance from anything that could burn. Candles do not belong in children's rooms, and only adults should light them. If fire happens, you know what to do. Get out and stay out. And finally, the thing we learned in today's story, stop, drop, and roll if your clothing should ever catch on fire. Hey, I want to thank you for spending some time with me today, and I sure hope you learned some cool lessons. See you next time on Dusty's Castle. Bye-bye.